You don't have to play it.
Coming soon to the theater.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian, back for another episode of the Horror Movie Club. What do? We talk about horror movies, of course. Tonight we are talking about Let the Right One In, which is a vampire movie, Swedish vampire movie from 2008. You've probably heard of it, probably either because you're a horror fan, and which would explain why you're watching this stream, or maybe because you've heard of the remakes. Because this is a movie that came out, it kind of blew up in a way nobody expected, and then there was an English language remake because Americans can't watch movies that are subtitled, and they also can't watch movies that are dubbed. So in America, we have to reshoot entire movies just to have them in English. That's where you got the remake of The Ring, Ju-on became The Grudge, and Let the Right One In became Let Me In, which is a fucking stupid title because the title is taken from a lyric from like a Morrissey song. So it's just like, it don't work. It don't work. So people, try to watch the originals before you watch the fucking remakes. Please, I'm begging you here. But I think now also it's currently a TV series where they switch the ages of the actors, which completely also defeats the purpose. But this is the original. This is the one that you want to see. Trust me, there is a link below in the description. You can click on that. It will take you to a free version of the movie. And trust me, this is one that you want to see. It's one that I usually watch in the dead of winter, right? I'm in New York. It's fucking bitch-ass cold right now. Snowy outside and freezing. And I don't know. This is just like the right movie for when it's really cold. This and The Thing, I find. The Carpenter remake, of course. But anyway, enough of my yakking. Let me bring on my co-host. I see my boy Matt is here. What's up, Matt?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Barely.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of sound like the Intellivision. Wow, that's a dated reference right there. Like the IntelliVoice. Okay, around the time of the Atari 2600, there was this thing called Intellivision, right? And it was like a gaming system, and it had this thing called IntelliVoice, and you plug that in, and you play a game called B-17 Bomber, or as the game would say, B-17 Bomber. That's kind of how you're saying, watch out for Flack. But it's cool to have you here, dude. And no, it's still fucked up. I'm happy that you're just here. So.
No, that ain't good.
Although, actually, you know what? You could record that and release it as a pop song.
Oh yeah.
Auto-tune.
Taylor Swift chorus, that would be awesome. Be like Demon Swift.
And of course, we got Pops. What's up, Pops?
How you doing, Brian?
Okay, man. I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. It is winter and it is cold. It is really, really, really cold right now in upstate New York, but that's okay. I'm a tough bastard. I can take this cold. Goddamn.
Look, we got like this much snow on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, look, you know what? I'll
This
keep
is
it real.
Michigan, bro. We're supposed
I know,
to have
I know, I know.
snow. It's like-
I know. And then we got our homie Sim. He's up in fucking Quebec, and I gotta say, man, when I went to the C2E2 convention in Chicago, and I think it was March, I think
Mhm.
I never felt cold like that before in my life.
Yeah, the wind will kick your ass, bro.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah,
Like yeah, like you know, my genitals just shriveled up and just fucking fell off.
that's
fucking,
kind of the
yeah.
problem with where I live. We live on like a little peninsula between three lakes, and the wind just blows through here off the biggest lake that's west of us, right?
Yeah.
And then it just blows through here and kind of blows the snow all over the smaller lake down the hill.
Yeah, I mean, when I was like in New York City, it was interesting. Like in the winter, like first for one thing, in New York City, walking is a form of travel, right?
Right.
And in the winter, you'd like take long cuts sometimes because there'd be certain streets that would have that wind tunnel effect. You're right. I'd be like, I'm not going up 8th. I'm not going up 8th. Fuck that. I'm walking over another block to 9th, and I'm going up that way. Yeah, for real. But yeah, this is one of those movies that, you know, it has a very, very chilly atmosphere. It's set in Sweden during the winter. Actually, this is a period piece. This is set in 1982. It's based on a novel, and the novel was really kind of a surprise hit when it came out. And of course, then there was it was translated in English, got really great reviews, and then of course, eventually there was a movie adaptation on the way, and people were curious as to whether it was going to be any good. And then, of course, it ended up being a surprise hit. That is to say, it was made in 2008, but I think it came out here in America in 2010. It was just one of those movies that it just had this buzz to it. And so people in the horror community were talking about it a lot. People who had seen it at film festivals. And then it actually got like a release here in the United States. Not like mainstream. It wasn't playing at your multiplex, but it was playing at your art house theater. And, you know, horror has always had a kind of interesting history when it comes to art house theaters because, you know, the art house movie crowd are not horror friendly, but the horror crowd are art house movie friendly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But that is the case. And art house horror is a special favorite sort of subgenre of mine. And I would definitely put this in that category. It's a vampire movie, but it's a vampire movie that's not quite like any vampire movie you've ever seen before. It's very much dealing with issues of isolation. Also dealing with stuff that is really, really uncomfortable, specifically the sexuality of children, right? Which, you know, is enough, you know, most people are going to go, yeah, right? Guess what?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I looked for teenage girls to hang out with, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's all good, right? That's all good. As long as it wasn't adults and kids.
Yes.
I'm okay.
Right. But it's still icky subject matter, is what
I don't know. I was a hoe when I was a kid, so that shit don't bother me.
Well, I mean, I remember being in the 6th grade, and some of the girls were already starting to look pretty interesting.
You see what I'm saying? I was kind of a hoe when I was a kid, so you know.
Yeah. So it is a thing, right? It's just a thing that you don't want to talk about because if you talk about it, people are going to be looking at you sus. And if you tell a story about it and you make a movie about it, people are going to be looking at you sus.
Right.
And
like I
that's
said, as long
what's
as
ballsy about
there was no adult child thing, I was okay with it. The movie didn't bother me. As a matter of fact, I broke up laughing quite a few times during this movie.
okay.
If you watched the watch party, you
Yeah.
heard me, babe. You were like, "This is a dark one, dude. You're gonna be at work." Oh shit! I had so much fun watching this one. It was hilarious.
Yeah, the only laugh that I had in this is when that poor chick gets attacked by the cats and she was rolling down the stairs.
That was fun. There was a bunch of come on, the cat
That's
lady.
meant to
That
be
was funny. There was a bunch of funny parts in this movie, dude.
Or when the dude falls out the window and hits his head. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come on.
He was two-faced. Now the other side of his face is fucked up. That's what I said.
Right? We got Harvey dented.
Oof.
Dented in his forehead.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So this movie was directed by Thomas Alfredson. He went on to look. This movie blew up, and his career blew up as a result. He directed Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which is an adaptation of the Jean Le Carré novel. Trying to think of some of the other things that he's done.
I remember that one. I saw that in the theater. It's pretty good.
It's very good. It's very
Gary
good.
Oldman. That was a movie that kind of put Tom Hardy out there a little bit more.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And then he just seemed to disappear. And it's not that, because what happened was he was one of those directors from another country that gets discovered by Hollywood, and Hollywood is like, hey, come over here and work for us. And he went and did that and did a movie called The Snowman, and that didn't work out so well. And so
I remember that one.
And just has been directing movies and TV in Sweden ever since. Because Hollywood has this way of taking really talented filmmakers from other countries, and then when they come here, they kind of suck the life out of their work. A lot of people end up having bad experiences. Or even something like, of course, Peter Jackson had a really bad experience with his first American movie, which was The Frighteners, which is a good movie. But it wasn't the movie that he wanted. He was kind of like, that's not the movie that I made. Because, of course, he didn't have final say over the final edit and everything. And so that turned out to be a really bad experience for him. But then, of course, he eventually did the Lord of the Rings movies, and those turned out a lot better. And now he's one of those guys like Guillermo del Toro who can kind of pretty much, write his own checks.
Right.
And just do whatever he feels like doing. But yeah, this movie caused a real freaking stir when it came out, and rightfully so. I mean, I consider it a lot of. I would say that most horror fans would consider this a contemporary classic.
Yeah, I would say so. The movie was huge. And the second one, or the remake, was even bigger, which is fucking weird how they remake shit that's like 5 minutes old,
Oh, well, I mean, that's what I was saying. I was saying it's like Americans can't read subtitles and they can't watch shit that's dubbed. So we have to reshoot entire movies just to have them in English. And I haven't seen Let Me In. I have zero interest in seeing it. Now there's a Let the Right One In TV series. And what do? They made the characters about 5 or 6 years older.
Yeah.
Huh. Kind of loses the whole point.
This shit.
I just thought it was like Interview with the Vampire, kind of that shtick a little bit, like when I first saw it, because I've seen the one with Hit Girl in it, and Richard Jenkins, which is a phenomenal actor, the guy from Cabin in the Woods and Step Brothers and whatnot. He plays the boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
That shit was pretty good. But then seeing this one, it's just way better.
It was funny because at one point he's like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" She said, "But I'm not a girl."
Yeah.
I got it. She's saying I'm a vampire. I'm not a human, right? But
no,
it still left that question hanging for about another hour of the movie before you actually knew for sure.
Yes,
she was a girl. A girl vampire.
Well, that's one of the things that we're going to discuss, because in the novel, Ellie is a boy. And in this, it's a little more subtle. But in this, Ellie is a boy. Ellie's played by a girl, mind you. And I've got some.
I mean, she shows that she ain't got no wiener. I mean, she shows that she's a girl, you know.
Right. And the first time I saw it, I was just kind of like, "What was that?" Right? But it's not like I want to like rewind and look at like.
No, you knew right away.
So I let it go.
Yeah, you knew, you know.
But watching this in Blu-ray and super high def, you could see that there's a very nasty scar there.
Oh, Ellie, I see.
Yeah. Which makes this movie even more disturbing.
Yeah, I would have had to zoom in on that, and I didn't.
Right, yeah. When I first saw this, I thought for sure Ellie was a girl.
I never knew that.
I'm fine with the way I saw it.
Yeah, and it's a different movie when you realize that.
No sure.
There are basically what happened to Ellie in the novel was that Ellie was a boy, and about like 200 years ago, Ellie was like castrated and turned into a vampire. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. By some master vampire, right? That just, obviously was like, some kind of a fucking serial killer or psychopath. Fiend, right? And, clearly her master either dropped her at some point or died or who knows. And now it is traveling, always on the move, because of course, wherever Ellie goes, Ellie leaves a trail of fucking bodies, right? So always on the move. And this is another thing that's very subtle in the movie, that's more pronounced in the novel, is that Khan, the guy that's taking care of her, is a PDF file.
Oh, wow. Scary.
And that's why he's like her familiar, right? It's not like Ellie is using mind control on him, right?
He's there by free will because he's a pedo.
Yes. And in the novel, I think it says, like occasionally Ellie rewards him, right? Yeah. And in this, of course, there's that scene where Hakan, whose job it is, as Ellie's familiar, isn't just to protect Ellie while Ellie's sleeping. It's also to go out and get blood.
Ooh,
so he's like
groceries, dude.
A killer. He goes out and, there's that scene where, you see that he's got this kit, right? He's got this, I forgot the name of it, but some kind of a gas that he uses to like knock people unconscious, and then he fucking strings them up like deer and fucking
hangs them up and drains them.
Blood. Yeah, absolutely.
That makes the story even way like 100 times more horrific. Like and unsettling when you put all the details in there. The novel, almost like you can't even compare it. It's even worse.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I understand. It's like some people might think that this shit's a little too disturbing. And it's like, guess what? It's it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have just great performances by Lena Leanderson as Ellie. She's absolutely terrific in this. And then there's Kare Hedebrandt, who plays Oscar. And Oscar is this cute, adorable little Viking kid, right? With the blonde hair and the blue eyes and everything. And he's just completely alone. You can tell he has a good relationship with his mother, right? There's that scene where like they're both brushing their teeth, and which I thought it was really cute, right? And they start imitating each other. But he also doesn't seem to see too much of her, which is right. It seems like she's probably off at work or something. and his father is estranged from the family, and eventually you find out why, and that's because he's a drunk. There's that scene that's absolutely heartbreaking in this, where Oscar is looking so forward to going and staying with his father, and he's staying with his father, and he's taking him out on his dragging him on a sled on his on a snowmobile and everything, and then they're like playing a game, and then his father's friend walks in. And his father's friend has this very kind of hungry look, right? And very often, the modern vampire story is a story about addiction, right? It's usually almost always in modern vampire stories, vampirism is a metaphor for drug addiction. Not always, but like 9 times out of 10. And so you could see this guy, Antsie's like, hey, Antsy, kind of licking his lips. He's like, oh, like, you got a bottle, don't you? Yeah. And next thing Oscar knows, his father's just completely brushing him off just to get shit-faced drunk with his friend. And then, of course, school life is a nightmare because he's getting bullied by these sadistic kids. And when the film opens, he's saying, squeal, piggy, squeal, because he's trying to reenact the violence that's being directed towards him. That is to say, he's experimenting with the idea of violence and cruelty. And I remember as a kid who was also like really heavily bullied at that age, also thinking about experimenting with violence and cruelty, specifically cruelty, because I thought to myself, wow, it's like they really, really enjoy this.
Because you're at home at that spot, that's home. It's becomes second nature if you're getting bullied all the time.
Yeah, and
it's the norm.
Well, yeah, because it becomes like normal behavior because it's normal amongst the kids, and it's also normal amongst the adults. The adults would always either ignore the abuse, or sometimes would actually even participate in it, which was really fucked up. But I remember being cruel to another child who was, let's say, slightly mental, like mildly retarded, maybe.
Everybody did that, man. It was just a thing. We all bullied each other,
And immediately I felt sick. Like it felt wrong. And, and I apologized to him and everything, but but that's the fucked up part. I was experimenting with cruelty.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's, going out with this pocket knife and he's stabbing a tree, pretending, that it's his bullies. And then, of course, Ellie shows up, this 12-year-old girl who is doesn't seem to have a problem with the cold, right? She's just wearing like a regular shirt. I think she's barefoot when they first meet. And, immediately Ellie says, like, we can't be friends. And Oscar, of course, is just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And you see that they're becoming fond of each other's company. And they're meeting every night on this playground, right? It's like not a swing set. What is it? It's like a monkey bars or something like that. It's like something for kids to climb on. And that's where you start to see their relationship start to grow and blossom. And I find one of the things I find really interesting about, this is a comic related show. It is a art related show. So I'm always looking up the posters, the fan art, that kind of a thing. And one of the things that I found really, really interesting is how much of the art here centers around that fucking Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Like
it's weird, huh?
Yeah. Like this is, I love this one right here. Right? Where you see them in their windows, right? Because they live right next door to each other. And there's Ellie's eyes glowing. in the dark.
For me, like the scariest shot in the movie is like I think is one of the victims where he or she, the kid, is underneath that bridge, and it's in silhouette, and the victim's like kind of coming up. I think it's like your second victim, maybe, and it was just really shot really well. They have the Twilight look to it, and made me think of Nosferatu, the new one. The way Eggers really lit it perfectly,
Oh my god!
Well, it's still Twilight, but you can make out a lot of the details.
Right, and there's also a moment where Ellie precedes Oscar into a dark room, and gradually, like right before he turns on the light, you see that Ellie's eyes have reflective membranes. Right? Mm-hmm. It's called parapets. Are those what those are called? I forget, but the reflective membrane that you see in the eyes of predators? Oh, yeah. Right?
Cats and stuff.
Yes.
Neanderthals.
Yes. And so just for like an instant, and that's one of the things that makes this movie very rewatchable and why it rewards multiple viewings, is because every time you watch it, you do kind of pick up on new details. And this is a film that I think one of the reasons for its longevity and why it has such a big fan base and continues to have such a big fan base is because it's one of those films that rewards revisiting. And I know that the movie that I watched last week was not the same movie that I watched in 2010. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was a different experience. And I looked at it in a different way. And
I've been doing that too, B. I've been watching like retro shows, stuff that I watched when I was young to see if the wonder was still there or what it was that I loved about it then, if I still love it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been doing that with a lot of the old retro TV shows like Kung Fu, man. I used to be enamored by Kung Fu. Now it's like, you know what I mean?
Oh, God. The worst for me was this TV series. George R.R. Martin was one of the creators. The guy, the Game of Thrones guy.
Yeah.
And this is back when I knew him as like a science fiction.
No, he's also part of Chuck Dixon's new movie, I think. That Leon Cade or whatever.
Yeah. What, George R. R. Martin's involved with that somehow?
I think he's part. I just saw he's involved with something that somebody we know is doing.
There's that new Paul
Dave Bautista
movie that's coming out that's based on one of his books. The problem is that he has a vast library of books that could be adapted into like dope TV series, movies, and shit. But the problem is that now he's the American Tolkien. So people just associate with him with fantasy, so that's all they want. It's the same reason why when the Shawshank Redemption came out, it didn't say Stephen King anywhere in the credits. It said based on a story by Richard Bachman, right?
Bachman.
The fact that it was by Stephen King. Because then people are going to go, oh, it's a horror movie, and then they go to see it, and then it's not a horror movie, and then they're fucking pissed off. And sort of the same thing with George R.R. Martin. I don't think they will. It looks like they're finally starting to do adaptations of his stuff that isn't high fantasy, which is cool. The show that he worked on that I loved back in the 80s was Beauty and the Beast, which I thought was brilliant.
I used to watch that as a kid.
I thought it was brilliant.
Vincent?
With Ron Perlman.
Linda Hamilton?
Yes. Yeah. And Linda Hamilton. And I remember watching that and just thinking, God, this character is so fucking cool. He's smart, he's compassionate, and he rips motherfuckers limb from limb. He just mauls motherfuckers, right? And I loved it. And I loved all the poetry quotes and all that stuff because I was like really into studying poetry at the time. And all of a sudden, decades have gone by. I'm like, well, let me take another look at that. And I'm just like, what a fucking simp.
Yeah, he was simped out.
What a
He
fucking
was like the biggest simp of all time.
the
One of
biggest
them.
simp of all time.
Yep.
It's just like, seriously, it's just like by episode 8, I'm like, sorry, babe, if you're not going to give up the fucking punani, just split. Get out of this guy's life. Why are you doing this to him? Right? Cut him off. Let him fucking go.
Oh, it's happened to all of us once.
I know.
There was that one that just hung around but wouldn't put it out. Hung around.
Friend
Acted
zone
like
is a
it was
very
all
fucking
gonna
cool
happen,
place,
but
man.
it never ever happened.
Everyone's a simp for somebody or something. So.
At some point. But then you learn.
No, it's like they acted
Hopefully.
like it was going to happen all the time, and they let you get super, super close. But then, in the end, Anna Marie, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. So yeah, no, it didn't hold up at all. It didn't hold. It not only did it not hold up, it made me angry.
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck that bitch. I still think the basic concept is brilliant. You know, the modern day setting and like the world underneath. You know, New York City.
He doesn't simp forever, though. I don't think. I think she eventually,
She gives up the punani at the beginning of season 3.
Season 3, holy shit!
That's a lot of seasons of simping, but
yeah, it is. Yeah,
he's very resilient. You know, he's a patient man or beast.
Well, look, there's patience, right? Like, you know, I've never been a guy to like rush a girl into bed. I'm not like that. I'm old school, right? But at a certain, really, like months, years, like, dude, like fucking cut that bitch loose. You know, it's just like other fish in the sea.
Weird.
Damn it. Yeah. So yeah, no, that shit did not hold up. This is another piece of fan art that I think is pretty cool.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah, a lot of these are from Deviant art.
It's even creepier than you know. It's like a eunuch, you know.
Yeah, that it's. Well, I mean,
it's like that camp movie. Remember the camp one, like Camp Nowhere, or what was it? The
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another movie that's totally different the second time that you see it.
Yeah, a whole lot.
This one's pretty creepy. This is. I'm not sure if this is an official poster. This is okay, but it's also kind of Photoshoppy.
Photoshoppy choppy.
Oh, and this is what what's her name? This is what the girl who plays Ellie looks like today, actually. Lena Leanderson. And oh yeah, this is great. I love this. This is a great.
She definitely looks exotic too. I mean, obviously she's Scandinavian by her last name, but in the movie they kind of picked something that looked from like another race. You know, that kind of went up there. That's what I thought. You know.
Well,
kind of been moving around, very nomadic, you know what I mean? Maybe Egyptian or, you know what I mean? Or maybe like something like that, you know?
Right. And that's one of the things that's really interesting about the casting of these kids opposite each other. Oh yeah, here they are at the, this was like 2010 Empire Awards. Like, because like I said, this movie's from 2008. But,
I remember that.
Right? But
I remember when the remake came out and the guy showed me both the trailers. I was getting my oil changed and it was just a guy, some German dude at a mechanic, a random spot. And he's like, "Yeah, we were talking about movies and horror movies. Like, you got to look at this movie. It's a ripoff. Look at these trailers." And it's like he said scene for scene. He's like, the old one's way better. And I remembered that.
I mean, you know, and also to add insult to injury. It was produced by Hammer Studios, the Hammer Studios at that time. And so I'm hoping that, you know, like Hammer's back. Hammer, we're gonna get some gothic fucking horror. No, we gotta right on it. And like now, you know, and the guy who owns Hammer now is like, oddly enough, the guy's name is John Gore, right? And I'm thinking, like, and he says, like, we're going to make Hammer again. We're going to make it a gothic horror studio again. And then they release Dr. Jekyll. And it's just, it's fucking Eddie Izzard in a fucking, smoking green cigarettes. And I mean, it's not a terrible movie, but it's still a failure. Like, it doesn't accomplish what you want it to, and it doesn't give you fucking what you want, which is gothic atmosphere, chicks.
Wasn't Nosferatu. Wasn't Nosferatu.
Blood, Hammer shit.
Nosferatu would have been a good Hammer like launch movie, if they partnered with Eggers.
God. So. And we're gonna be definitely talking about that later when we get into the week in horror. But fuck me, man. That being a hit means that maybe this John Gore fellow, the current owner of Hammer Studios, will go, wow.
Yeah.
Geez.
Gift wrapped in. Like, the whole concept is just, here you go on a silver platter. This is all you got to do, buddy. Follow this formula and you'll be okay. Tap him on the head. Go make some movies.
Right. Maybe a little less disturbing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I always associate Hammer with comfort. But
yeah, a little fun. Like, there's scenes where there's a little fun in there. A little charming fun,
Yeah, there's something cozy about the Hammer movies. There's something about those. They're horror films, but for some reason they make me feel like I'm being like wrapped in like a warm blanket. Maybe that's because I'm fucked up. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's this is a cute picture because these are the kids 3 years after they made the movie, and they look adorable. But you notice they're very, very different in terms of light and dark, right? Like, Ellie is kind of dark skinned, a little dark hair, and then of course Oscar is as white as they get. That's a white boy right there, right? Like I always say about being German, I'm not white. I'm translucent. He's even more translucent than I am. But yeah, it creates like a really interesting visual contrast between the two. Yeah, that's what he looks like now. Now I can't read this. It says "Si mi pur un po lasciami entre young Lindqvist." The name of the original author is John Lindqvist. He also wrote Border, which was turned into a movie. That's the movie with the funky troll sex I was telling you about.
The fuck?
That will leave you traumatized. That left people traumatized at the fucking Cannes Film Festival. Like, yeah. And don't ask me to explain it. You just gotta fucking see it. It's fucking crazy. And he also wrote another novel that's been turned into a movie called Handling the Undead, which is not a zombie movie, but it's about the dead coming back to life and just kind of hanging out. They're not back to eat you. They're just kind of there, which is a pretty cool and interesting concept. This is a cool poster right here. I like this one.
Brian, I got to say something real quick.
Yeah, please.
We are getting rated on the Pilled channel by Zoso Dude's channel. 29 people are popping in right now on Pilled. Right now.
What's up, people?
So, Coffee Talk with Sander, Flip City, Willie Fix It, Prairie Fire, Alicia B, Zoom, Awakeville, Zoso, my dude, Daily Insanity, dude, Bong Hit #1. We got a bunch of people.
Did somebody say Bong Hit?
Yes, Bong Hit #1.
I think I might need a little break here.
Bong Hit #1, yes. Thank you. Kaz is there. There's a bunch of people popping in, bro.
Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you. Spank that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring ding ding dong the bell for notifications. Hook a brother up with some subs. Let's see here. Okay, I got the trailer right here. Let's take a look at the trailer. I'm going to take frequent breaks so we don't get fucking jacked by YouTube. Anybody that's watching us on YouTube, you can also, if the stream goes down, remember you can catch us on Pilled. You can catch us on Rumble. You can catch us like a bunch of other locations because, well, as more and more time goes by,
YouTube sucks ass. That's all.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling like fuck YouTube because also it's just like I know that they're fucking with shit. When I was looking at how many views my Return of the Living Dead Part 3 video got, and it's like 45. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
That's that suppression algorithm that I was bitching about.
I know, and it's happening to a lot of people. It's not like I take that shit personally or anything. But yeah, no, it's always funny when they strike you for showing a trailer because the trailer, of course, is a fucking commercial for the movie.
Right.
You're showing the trailer. You're doing a solid for whoever it is that owns the rights to the film. And I know there's a dubbed version of this out there, but I couldn't find one on free streaming. But that doesn't mean it's not out there. But folks, seriously, just learn to read subtitles. And if you're like our homeboy Preston and you're dyslexic, right? See, that's why like he always gets a pass from me, right? Because it's just like, of course, it's just. It's going to take him forever just to figure out what's going on. But yeah, try to watch the originals, not the fucking remakes, people. They're just, they're always better.
This movie was trippy, though. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It's trippy. It's dark. It's really, really dark. It feels incredibly cold, and yet emotionally, it's very, very warm.
But like with me, it's like I'm watching it in the beginning beat, and I get the serial killer vibe. I don't realize it's a vampire movie until she goes after her first victim herself.
Yeah,
right.
And
you know
when
what I mean?
Yeah, and when she takes Yaka is the guy's name, right? He's kind of like the the older dude, like early retiree. That's a part of the group of friends. And just like, and it's amazing too, because when Ellie attacks him, you don't see the actual attack. It's all in shadow, but you're hearing these monstrous growling sounds.
Yep, and slurps and shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just animalistic.
Hello, Starfleet.
Yeah, and they start like writing little notes to each other, and it's very sweet and it's very innocent, except it's not.
Well, it was funny though, because like right at the beginning, she's like, you can't be my friend,
Yeah, well, I mean, Ellie's like, sorry, I can't be friends because it's like, Ellie's not going to be staying for very long because the bodies are going to start fucking piling up.
She's like, I can't be your friend because I might have to eat you later. There it is. Slap.
Yeah, when Hakan gets busted draining that dude, and this dog, I think it's like a poodle shows up and is just staring at him.
Yeah.
People are looking for the dog.
Looking for the dog, and he runs. Just leaves the dude hanging there. Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah,
Kristen
and of course,
from Six Cities over there on Pilled watching too. So,
and of course, this is a vampire movie, so every vampire movie has what we know as the rules. The rules being, well, what kind of vampire are we dealing with? What are their vulnerabilities? What are their strengths? Can they turn into a mist? Can they turn into a bat? Can they, turn into a wolf? Can they do none of those things? Does sunlight kill them? Does it not kill? Does it make them sparkle? And of course, the rules in this are interesting because this is a very sort of an unconventional vampire, and yet there's certain supernatural rules that Ellie is subject to, and one of them is that she can't enter anybody's home unless
they're invited.
Invited.
Yeah, you got to invite the vampire in. You have to. That's
and that's
an
also
old trope, right?
right. But that also connects to the title, which is from a Morrissey lyric from an old Smith song. Let the right one in. I'm a big Morrissey fucking fan, so sue me.
Är du vampyr? Hade du tyckt om mig ändå?
Yeah, I love the scene where he finds out that Ellie's a vampire and is like, how old are you? And Ellie replies, I'm 12, but I've been 12 for a very long time. Yeah, there's some blink and you'll miss them moments. This scene right here, for instance, is one of the moments where you get to see the real Ellie. That is to say, what's inside. There are two moments in this movie, and it's a different actor. And it's this jaundiced-looking a monster.
Vill du bli ihop med mig?
Oh, God. And then those long, slow shots of the snow falling and turning in the winds, right? It kind of almost looks like a kaleidoscope. The atmosphere of this movie is just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, based on the international bestseller in paperback. Yeah, so, I mean, this was one of those movies that the horror community latched onto pretty fast, but then people outside of the horror community were kind of becoming aware of it. And that's when you got the remake. And then, of course, now there's a TV series where they're like, teenagers, 16, 17, 18 years old, which completely fucking destroys the whole point of the story.
Yeah, it's a different thing altogether then at that point.
Completely.
Is it in Scandinavia too, the TV show?
I don't think so.
Yeah, see, that's a big part of it too. Like, you got to get all the details right, You
got to get the snow. You got to get the cold, right? And this is one of those films that gets accused of being cold that isn't. It's the same way that people will make that mistake with David Cronenberg, right? Which are shot mostly in Canada. And also, these aren't movies that are cold. The worlds in which they take place are fucking freezing. Absolutely fucking Arctic. But the emotions, the feelings are actually really warm. And the emotion behind Cronenberg's movies and this movie, I think, are the opposite of cold. I think there's a tremendous amount of pathos in this movie that, each time I've seen it, hits me in an emotional way. And I don't want to give away the ending, but some people think that they think of the ending as a happy ending, and I don't. I don't think it's happy at all. I actually think that the ending's really tragic.
Yeah, it is. He's like stuck with them forever.
Yeah. It's oh God. And then, of course, the climax, you got that scene in the swimming pool, which is fucking phenomenal. And that scene, of course, is incredibly sad because if Ellie hadn't shown up, Oscar would be dead.
Yeah.
So it's like his options are death or being a vampire's familiar.
Right.
And that's it.
That's pretty slim.
Yeah. It's yeah. So I've always found this movie to be tragic as fuck.
Definitely.
This is
So
really
one of the people in part of the madness, Cosmic Grandpa, the chief financial officer, also runs a show called Free Beer Man, and
Free Beer Man.
He just clicked on the metal movies and brewskis and said, "Brewskis, you had me at brewskis."
Oh hell yeah, man!
Matt,
got his own channel. Go check
we got to
it
get
out.
your show running back through the network again.
Yeah, Matt's got a great channel. The format on his show is great. He's had some really cool guests on. Had Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones on to promote their Dracula book, which was super.
Yeah, we got to get your stuff running back through the network on a more regular basis.
Yeah, there she is today. It's just cute seeing these kids now, grown up. There once again, that fucking Rubik's Cube. I was surprised in how much of the fan art the Rubik's Cube figures, because it's not an element of the movie I ever gave much thought to, but clearly other people have. This is the standard poster. This is the poster that was released here in the United States. The DVD cover was exactly this. It's boring Photoshop crap. This one's much better. See, this one's nice and spooky. This one's Photoshop too, but it's spooky. It's kind of like, like we've looked at like a lot of the Japanese horror movie posters, and those are not Photoshop. They're like cutouts, right? Like somebody went in and cut out pictures from stills and just pasted them into the poster, but they do it in a way that's like dynamic, right? So it's like the Japanese posters are still really, really cool, even though they're not as cool as like, the Italian ones or the old American ones where there were like these beautiful paintings.
And see, the way the movie started, like I said, with the old guy and the guy strung up to be bled, the way the movie started led you to believe that it was going to be a serial killer movie about that old guy. If you didn't have any pre-knowledge of the movie at all, and you just, like I did, turned it on and started watching, in the beginning, you think it's going to be a serial killer movie, that this old dude just runs around fucking bleeding people out and shit, right?
Right.
It's like, what?
Yeah. And
so you get taken on a completely different ride as the movie goes on, and I said, if you don't have any pre-knowledge of it at all, this is a trippy movie. It takes you in a lot of different places.
It really does. It really does. Now, of course, I knew it was a vampire movie going in because the word was, "Oh, this is like a great vampire movie." But the title, "Let the Right One In," it's perfect because it does make a reference to vampires, and specifically the fact that the vampire needs to be invited in.
Yeah,
right?
Loosely. Okay.
But it doesn't scream it.
No, not at all. Look,
I'm pretty smart.
He was the link, right? When I said I was going to play this, what's the movie for Pilled this week? You sent me the link. You didn't send me description. You didn't tell me anything about it. You just sent me the link and said, "This is a dark one, Pops." It's like you might not laugh much. And my God, I busted up the first 20 minutes. I was giggling my ass off.
That's cool. See, this is a much better poster. I like this one right here. That's okay. Oh, this is I think the cover of a fanzine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like some kind of book cover. It's actually got a barcode on it.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, so I mean, some cool fan art. I love this one. I think this one's really cool. That's really beautiful. And then let's see, where's the other one I really like? That one's great. This one's great right here.
Under the bridge. Yeah, I'm just sitting under the bridge waiting for me.
Yeah, that's that's spooky right there. It's like for me, that's what I would have done, something along the lines under the bridge, like I was talking earlier. I thought that was pretty spooky.
Yeah.
And this also doesn't scream vampire.
Nah, just screams like like cryptid or ghost.
Yeah.
You know what else busted me up laughing? Dude watched his friend get killed and didn't say anything at first.
Oh yeah, the guy with all the cats. Yeah, the guy that's presumably gay. Yeah, that's part of that crew of people.
Yeah,
really,
it's like he saw it happen and didn't say anything, until it was until somebody else died, right?
Well, he's afraid. And should he have said something? Absolutely. But then he's also not only afraid of maybe retribution from this monster, but also who's going to believe him?
Right.
Right? He's just like, oh yeah, I saw what happened to Yako. Yeah, there was like this little girl that was that fucking just like killed him like a wild animal, drank his blood. Right? Who's going to believe that? Then people are going to think that he's crazy because
he's a killer. Even
that would be one of the ways that vampires would survive in the modern world. Would be the fact that nobody believes in vampires, right? And that it's like if somebody were to have an experience with one or spot one, what are they going to say? It's kind of like it would operate on the same principle as ghosts. Right? Like, I just know too many people who have seen ghosts to not believe in ghosts. Too fucking many. And people that when you get them to talk, I consider myself to have a pretty good, on the one hand, I'm very naive. On the other hand, I have a really good bullshit meter. And they're just their matter of factness when they're talking about it. But this is a secret that people keep, and they only share it with people that they know aren't going to mock them out or call them liars or say that they're crazy. So I would imagine any kind of supernatural monster would benefit from that. But then, of course, now you've got all these YouTube channels about cryptids and that sort of a thing. So, who knows? But yeah, I was like, this is cool too. This is a nice little piece of pixel art. I'm 12, but I've been 12 for a long time. Yeah, kind of sums Ellie up. Let me show another clip here because there are a lot of really cool, atmospheric, memorable moments in this movie. There's also, it is a fucking horror movie, so you are going to get some, blood.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I love also is how Ellie is actually helping Oscar to stand up for himself. But
the bullies.
Yes. But what Oscar discovers is what I discovered, which is that people tell you to stand up to the bullies, but then when you stand up to the bullies, they punish you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's kind of
also he got off on smacking that dude round.
Rightfully so.
I mean,
and the thing is, if the kid's fucked up like that, you're doing him a fucking favor.
He is like,
you are actually, because their parents aren't getting him ready for life. They're spoiling him, and they're basically setting him up for hell. Like if you don't discipline your kids enough, you're not getting them ready for the world, and you're setting them up for hell. And that's obviously what his parents did.
I mean, he got way too happy with the power he had over the bully after he actually took dude out. Okay, he got, he didn't go like, yeah, that's what you get, motherfucker. He got happy and bragged about it and shit.
Most definitely. It's a total non sequitur, but it reminds me of it was a story. It was a Bone Crusher. He was like a rapper, I think, right?
Whack that dude with a stick. Rung his bell good.
And I just remember, like, he told an interesting story, and I forget how I heard this because I had like no interest in that type of rap music, right? But he was just like, yeah, I used to be the neighborhood bully because the guy's like fucking, right? He's just ominous, right? And he was like, yeah, I was the neighborhood bully until one day everybody fucking that I was bullying, they all got together and fucking beat my ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what happens eventually.
You know what? Best thing that ever happened to him. Best thing that ever happened to him. He needed to be corrected, so they corrected him. And after the ass whipping, he wasn't thinking like, oh, I guess I can't get away with this. He was thinking, oh my God. He was like, everybody hates me. And he turned his life around. So that's the thing, is I'm not saying I'm pro-violence, but you know what? Some people just do need an ass whipping. It's sad but true. Yeah, when all the kids are going on a field trip, going ice skating, which I can imagine is a common pastime in Scandinavia.
Right.
See, this is perfect because it's like the timing. The teacher saw what was about to go down.
Yes.
But
also, what's interesting, and I love this, he's the stick that he finds is the stick that Hakan was using to push that body into the ice.
Yes. Yeah. And it's right there, too.
Yeah.
The body's right there.
Yeah. So
it's like the One Ring, bro.
Yeah, I love how everything's connected in this.
The One Ring.
Yep.
And he's like slapping his hand with it. He's like, oh.
Got a nice piece of wood here.
Till dig och putta ner det. Du kommer inte göra någonting. Har jag rätt eller?
Yeah, we're gonna do something all right.
Yeah. And this kid is the ringleader.
Come on over here where I can reach your face with this stick, bitch.
Yep.
It's a little closer. Come on.
Well, the day that the bully stopped for me was the day I brought a battle axe to school. True story.
He knew he was gonna fucking whack that dude before that dude got anywhere near him.
Yep.
It's like he's planning on whacking that. I don't care. Oh man, I love it. It's like the girl gave him the set. His nuts dropped. Meeting this vampire girl, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that you notice after this scene. Oscar's body language changes completely.
Yeah.
Right? He's walking around in a more confident manner. And then after Ellie leaves, that's gone again. Like he's back to square one.
See, here we go.
It's like, yeah, that's it. Scream, a little bitch. Teach you not to fuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar, what are you doing? Yeah, he's the bad guy, right?
Now the scream from the other side. Here we go.
Right. Yeah, and then of course these little girls discover the body of a.
See, because that teacher right there, that dude right there, saw them skating toward dude, knew something was about to go down, and got distracted.
Yeah, and the thing about this character too, that teacher is that he's an immigrant. He's Spanish. Or from Spain or some Spanish-speaking country, and his Swedish sucks, which is something that's kind of easy to miss, if you're not like really paying close attention. But yeah, he's sort of like the comic relief that way.
Yeah, he got off. See, he got off on that shit.
That's just like kid. Now you see. If that was my son, I would have to give him the Atlantean sword after that. Like, you were ready for the Riddle of Steel, son. He's high.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
he just got off on it a little too much for me. That was a little creepy, but you know.
yeah, because that's the thing. There's a certain moment in this movie where you're wondering, and he's wondering, is he going to be able to kill? Is he going to be able to, if he's going to be Ellie's new familiar, is he going to be able to kill for Ellie? And at that moment, it looks like, you know, okay, he's discovered that he can be violent, and that it's actually kind of easy. At least it was in that case.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It was like, you know, his nuts dropped for that girl. You know? He went right back and told her, "Look guess what I did."
So that's the thing that's so fucked up, is that it's a relationship that's actually really, really good for Oscar, but it's with this fiend, it's with this monster,
right?
And when, like I said, and I'm not giving too much away, but there's I'm not gonna give away the climax. But then when Ellie is for a period out of his life, he's right back to square one. Like, you see him looking exactly as he did at the very beginning of the film. You know, where he's standing before the window with this look of, of pain, longing, and just putting his hand on the window. Oh, God.
If you're watching on Pilled right now and you really want to watch this movie, you just go into my replays on Pilled and scroll down a little bit, and you'll find this movie, Horror Movie Club. We played it, I think, on the 2nd, Brian, or the 30th, or something like that.
It was
right at the end of the month, I think. But you can watch the whole movie right there, and drop me a little love on Pilled, people. You know.
Hell yeah.
We like them later. We like them replay views. I like going back and looking and going, damn, people watch that thing 70 times since we put it up.
Some of the fucking spaghetti western ones have like 24,000 views. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, let's take another little another little peek here. Another little clip.
And guess what makes me mad, B, is we don't do anything different every week. Doesn't matter if it's spaghetti western, doesn't matter if it's horror movie, doesn't matter what it is. I think it's the actual intro you're using for Kung Fu Theater that got that one.
I guess, but the thing that's funky about that is I know somebody else, that this guy called the Hard Bastard, who does the exact same thing. And like, if anything, his intro is like 15, 20 minutes long, right?
Damn.
And
I'm just saying, I think it's too long of scenes of the movies in the intro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then there's the music over it, right? Which is AI music. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, I went to lengths to like create buffers to keep from the algorithm. But of course, as we all know, the algorithm is always fucking changing. Right?
Always.
Hey, look, I get it. This is America. Like, if someone were to ask me, like, what is the quintessential nature of America? I'd say, the rules change as you play the game.
Yeah, most of the time,
you play the game, the goalpost is always getting fucking moved around.
Most of the hits that we take aren't full strikes. They're just like, mute that music out of that part of the video and we'll remonetize it, right? They just tell you, we're not going to monetize this video because of this music, and if you change it or mute it out, then we will remonetize your video. It's real simple, and I go through it a lot. I never get strikes. That was a strike, and I was like, what the? It's no different than what we do every week.
Right. But that, like I said, that's the thing. Shit keeps changing. There was a time when you could show 5-minute clips and nothing would fucking happen.
Yeah.
I remember
nothing happened anywhere else. This is the part. This is the part that bugs me. Facebook, X, Rumble, Twitch, Pilled. Every place we played that show, it's still up except for your and my YouTube.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So YouTube just big brothering just a little too fucking much. And you think if Facebook thinks it's okay, why the fuck would, come on.
Here's the thing. They, impose a rule, right? No more clips. Okay, we find a workaround. Okay, we'll stop the clip at like every 30 seconds, 1 minute, and whatever, right? Talk a little bit, and then press play again. Or put like with the Kung Fu Theater intro. I fucking had clips from multiple movies, nothing too long, and put AI music over it, right? And then also put something over the image that said like, Kung Fu Theater starts soon, a little fucking right?
And they cut us out like 12 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
And it didn't just like do what they usually do with the black screen and then bring us back in 5 minutes. It was that show's done. You're not fucking gone.
It just completely
gone. Yeah, it's completely gone. It's not them 12 minutes aren't in the playlist on YouTube. It's completely gone.
Yeah, it's like fuck you very much.
But the whole show you can watch anywhere else. Anywhere else that we broadcast to, you can go watch that show.
Well, I've been saying honestly, I thought that this shit was going to happen way more like before the election. Like I'm actually kind of like surprised. Look, this is always headed in the same, which is whack-a-mole, right?
Yeah, which is why I'm going.
We're going to find ways around their shit until we can't, right? And they like all of our videos only get 40 views and shit like that. And then we will all go to Rumble, and then Rumble will blow up, and then they'll go there, and they'll fuck with us there. Then we'll go to Pilled, and then it's whack-a-mole. It's
they fucking get Pilled.
Yeah, we're always going to be moving. But right now, Pilled is where we can fucking get away with fucking.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Rumble. Everything we're doing on Rumble doesn't get messed with. Everything we do on Facebook doesn't get messed with. The only one messed with us this whole time has been YouTube.
Yeah, they have been the biggest bastards.
Everybody else has been like, yeah, right, whatever.
Man, when it comes to that fucking shit.
I was really happy to find Pilled, though. I love to be able to play the whole movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome.
That's killer. That's killer.
Yeah. I'm thinking about just doing some streams, like hangout movie watch streams on there. Fuck it, why not?
You can. That's what I'm saying, man. I love it. I mean, we watched the movie, and then we could do this as the second part of the show and just make it a big old fucking event once a week.
Yeah. No, I dig that idea.
I do have the tendency to comment during the movie. when something funny happens,
people don't want to hear you. Look, if we do shit like that, and then we're all fucking talking over the movie. If people don't want to hear that shit, guess what? There's a link right there. Because if you don't want to listen to us bitch about the movie or talk during the movie, which we could totally understand, all right? If you don't want to fucking MST3K it, if you just want to watch the actual fucking movie,
we give it a link to go watch it. Yeah.
It's like
I crack up sometimes, and I'll unmute myself so everybody knows I thought that part was fucking funny, or I'll make some kind of a snide comment, but I don't like try to talk over them when they're,
Right.
If it's one of these movies where we got to read it anyway, who cares what we say?
Right. Hey, the whole thing's subtitled.
Yeah, you got to read unless fucking Prince or wherever the hell this came from. Right?
Yeah. Let me run this real quick. This is a scene where, now that Oscar's balls have dropped, now that he's feeling empowered, he's actually getting almost a little cocky. Of course, now he knows that Ellie is a vampire, a monster, and decides to fuck with his new friend. Basically, says to Ellie, it's just like, oh, wait a second, you're a vampire. You can't come in unless I invite you. Right? And that's the other thing, too. You have to say it. It can't just be a gesture. And that's what he's doing. He's gesturing. It's like you may not have to say the literal words, So one thing what we know about this type of vampire, what Ellie is this is not some kind of like rare blood disease. This is not a race. This is supernatural. Because that's, I mean, rules like that are straight out of fucking folklore.
It makes it even scarier at that point.
Cosmic Grandpa said the point of a watch party is to enjoy the commentary.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Word up.
And thank you for the cookie, Todd.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Seriously, much love to everybody that's tuned in on Pilled and Rumble and the YouTubes or whatever. We genuinely do appreciate you.
Yeah.
Right. So she crosses the threshold. She can come in, but it's not without consequences.
Yeah. Yeah. This is when I knew she was a for real vampire and not some little fucking crazy kid.
Oh, when she fucking attacked that dude under the bridge, like that's when you knew that. And also, oh man, it's great when you see her scaling.
See, when she does that, it's in the shadow. You don't know, is she a werewolf? You don't know what the fuck's going on under there. You don't know she's a vampire until
right. And then that's the thing. It's like certain movies are best when you go in cold. And this would be a movie, it would be great to have gone in cold on. But like I said, like everybody was saying, like, oh, this is the best vampire movie ever.
Spoiling the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Christy, you can go watch the full movie on the replays on the channel. And where was it? Tubi? Was it on Tubi?
Yeah, it's on Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime. Because I went and checked at all the different places to see if any of them had an English dub.
God bless Tubi.
Hey, best streaming service. Best streaming service. And I watched The Thicket the other day, which is
it good or what?
Excellent.
Had Hetfield in there.
It's yes. And you know
what?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, no, I'm not going to start doing my fucking James.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yours is going to be 100 times better than mine. But you know what? You watch him in that movie and you notice that it's him, right? You notice, right? Like, oh, that's fucking James Hetfield because you see his name in the opening credits too. You know what? There's no way he doesn't stand out in any way. He's like actually like a proper actor. That's to say, it's not like seeing fucking Lizzo in The Mandalorian, where you're like, who let that butt nut on the stage?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Right?
Well, the moment I heard the Unforgiving, I was like, that guy could play a cowboy, you know? Like, there's just something about his voice, bro. And I bought him as a cowboy, even though he was a metalhead. Yeah. You know, I'm like, I could see him playing a cowboy one day. Yeah. And I was like 10 years old when I saw that.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, James Hetfield, you know, look, I love to fucking bust Metallica's balls, right? And so but the thing is I always keep it real. And somebody like what's her face, fucking Courtney Love, right? Horrible human being, sociopath, creative vacuum. You know, all of her music was written by her fucking husband. She's great in The People versus Larry Flynn. I mean, terrific, right? Terrific. Of course, she's playing like a skank, right? But that's okay. That's still acting. And so it's just like, okay, I hate that bitch, but that's a genuinely great performance. Not that I hate James Hetfield.
I don't think she had to step too far out of her own personality to play that part, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Then people are just like, oh, but that person was playing themselves. I'm thinking,
it's easy to play yourself.
Well, how do you play yourself? That's what I'm saying. Is like, there's no such thing as playing yourself, right? Because then you're playing a version of yourself. You're not just being yourself. That's the thing.
That's what I mean. In her case, it is kind of. That's who she was.
The performances from the kids in this are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oscar does feel like a real kid. the vibe that I get from him in this is very similar to the one that Lucas Black had in Sling Blade, where you're just like, oh, this kid isn't like, you know, like a little Shirley Temple, like a kid that dances and sings, and you know the parents want them to be like a movie star. He just seems like a genuine kid. And then of course you have Liana Leanderson, who is playing a 200-year-old vampire, and you know, in other words, someone that's way more mature, you know, older than her years, literally, and she just does a very killer job of that.
Yeah, like I said, I was entertained. Basically, if you catch me watching the movie till the end, you know I probably was in some way entertained. But yeah, you see right away he freaks out. She starts bleeding. He goes, "Oh damn! Wait a minute! You can come in.
Yeah,
you know."
But because he loves Ellie, and so I mean, you enjoyed it, Matt. What did you think of Let the Right One In?
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. Liked it a lot more than the remake. Definitely go back and check it out again. Got that art house like horror feel to it, you know.
Yeah,
very cold movie. It is a cold movie.
Well, it's cold in the sense that you know, like I said, it's a movie that when I do, like, I don't watch it every year, but every now and then I'll watch it, and when I do, it's always like in the month of like January or February, like dead of fucking winter. It's really fucking cold, and like I said, it makes you feel cold. You feel the coldness of this world, but it's not a cold movie. It's a very warm movie. It's a very emotional movie. It's a very tender movie. And the way that it approaches the way it portrays childhood. Oh yeah, oh hell yeah, yeah. Everybody go there. Back my shit. Back everybody's shit there.
Everybody shit. Yeah, everybody shit. Let's go there. Back something. Go there. Back something.
Yeah.
Come pop.
So you dug Nosferatu or what?
Oh fuck yeah, yeah. Because yeah, hold on, let me do this real quick. Let me filibuster. How's things? Or well, should I not mention where you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay, you got it. Just checking. You know.
What are you at work?
Wait, hold on a sec. I'm looking for the. Hold on.
But yeah, I'm all good. Holding it down.
You
good.
I just want to make sure you're safe, bro. That's all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
definitely.
All good. Let's see, where the fuck is that?
Are you doing the Western Jamboree next week, or are you doing the?
I don't think I'm going to be doing the Kung Fu theater anymore. Because
don't play that intro. Do another one when it's time and see how it goes. And we'll find out if it was the intro that caused the problem. You know,
I'm sorry, I'm a little baked. That's why I'm.
And it could have just been that movie, and those people that own that movie are super anal.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's just I don't know.
That's what I mean. We don't know, but I don't want you to stop doing Kung Fu theater. Maybe just do it without that big long intro next time and see how it goes. You know,
and show no clips. There it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been hitting a little bit of the sticky icky.
Is the week in horror? The week in horror.
Scream that scream!
Horror!
Screaming like a fucking bitch. It's like get eaten alive by pigs like a man. You fucking pussy. But yeah, I did see Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers, and yeah, was definitely impressed with it. It's one of those movies where I have to fucking see this again. I have to see it again before I can give it a proper ranking. because it is a assault on the senses. It starts out.
Let me ask you one question real quick, B, because this is how I gauge how much I like a movie.
Yeah.
You gonna pay money to go see it again?
Oh, absolutely.
Then you like the movie. That's it.
Because it may be out of the theaters. But would I like to like if that were like if the theater that was within 15 minutes driving distance of me, if that was still open and they were showing this, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
I ask everybody that, man, because really that's what it amounts to. We just spend money. You spent money on it the first time to see if it was any good. Would you spend money on it again? And when people say yes, then that answers my question. I know they like the movie. If they say no, I'll wait and watch it streaming or something, then I know they weren't all that impressed. And basically, it's your wallet. It's always going to be your wallet that decides, man, whether it's backing a book or whether you like how much you like a movie. It's always going to be your wallet that tells you.
Right.
You know?
And then, of course, there was like, the era where was just like, you'd watch a trailer and you'd be like, oh, I'm going to see that day one. And then you'd be like, oh, rental. Right. And, but yeah, I mean, movie theaters are dying. And I got to say, I can't emphasize this enough. This is the thing about Robert Eggers. His movies are designed to be seen on a big screen. See this on a fucking big screen. Do not wait for this to come to streaming. Even if you dislike it, I'm telling you, this movie is an experience. It is something that starts out, like, correct me if you think I'm wrong, Matt, but this starts out pretty conventionally. I don't mean like the opening scene, right? Which is great because this is creating new mythology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's, Mina Harker. I'm not going to use the names of like the other characters, because let's face it, it's like Count Orlok, it's fucking Dracula. It's like we all disagree on that, right? And the Renfield character is Renfield, right? So the Mina Harker's like a young girl. She's not lovesick, but crying out for a lover, right? And begging God, please, send a fellow my way. Right? And males do this too. It's like, oh Christ, dude, hook me up with a good lady. And kind of goes into the psychic ether and connects with something sinister beyond belief.
Mimir on Pilled says he has the F.W. Murnau's 1922 film Nosferatu at his house.
Oh, dude, make sure that you watch the tinted versions of that, because that's one of the things that was fucked up about when I was a kid and they would show silent movies on TV. And sometimes also in schools or like wherever you could see a silent movie, they often would just show the black and white versions because they're like, well, it's a silent movie, it's black and white. No, a lot of these movies were tinted. And so the original tinted versions, make sure you've got those. But what I love about this is that it takes from the original F.W. Murnau. It also takes from the Herzog remake, for sure. There's one image that always stood out to me there's a lot of images in the Herzog Nosferatu, which I love, that just, remain in my memory. And it's at the very beginning, after the title credits, when the movie opens, you have Jonathan Harker and Mina Harker sitting on a beach, but the beach is also a cemetery. And just that image of these like wrought iron crosses coming out of the ground of a beach. It was just very unusual. And he steals that image, shamelessly, which is like in a cool way. And then when Jonathan Harker gets to Dracula's castle, the movie starts to get really, really weird and crazy, and really starts to come at you hard in a very, very aggressive way, where suddenly the movie is kind of like grabbing you by the shoulders and screaming in your face. Like that kind of horror. And this design is something new. Some people have been making fun of it because of the stash. The stash fucking works. Dracula had a fucking stash. Deal with it. And it's like a little bit from, of course, as you would expect, the Max Schreck makeup, right? The makeup for Kinski wasn't that extensive because Kinski didn't need a lot of makeup. He's a scary looking motherfucker anyway, right? So all they had to do is shave his head and, you know, put little fucking pointy ears on him and the teeth, you know, a little bit of makeup, and you're good. You're good to go. But like the original Max Schreck, Count Orlok, to me is still the scariest vampire of all time
by far.
Second would be Reggie Nalder in Salem's Lot, the Toby Hooper version.
100%.
Right? Because it's it's fucking like Max Schreck, but like 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
right?
with in color on top of that.
In color,
with the yellow beady eyes,
and like these yellow eyes, and Reggie Nalder, who looked like a fucking corpse. They didn't have to do too much on him either. He was a German actor who had, like Peter Cushing, he had tuberculosis.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And survived, but it left him with very drawn, gaunt features, right? So he was perfect for fucking horror movies. But also, then this movie throws in a really big dash of Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think. Would you agree with that, Matt?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. I still prefer Bram Stoker's over this one, just because, you know, it's got all it just kind of checks all my boxes.
Yeah,
But,
that's for shit.
Definitely, yeah, you could see some influences, and he says, like, you know, he's watched that movie like 1,000 times, so he didn't need to, like, he didn't go in there watching it before he made this one, but he's been working on this for like his whole life, pretty much, and he said that some of that's gonna rub off. So is the Klinsky and the original one, you know, in this version.
And does he make his own contribution? Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in here you get the real Dracula in here. I think, and in some ways he's the closest Dracula we've ever got. And I don't mean Nosferatu, I mean Dracula.
Right, but it's also Count Orlok in the sense that he's more physically monstrous than
he's a Hulk.
Bram Stoker's character.
He's definitely a Hulk in here.
He can't pass, because that was always the thing that was scary about Count Orlok, was that this is a vampire that could never pass for human.
No, he's not Quav at all. You know, he's a fucking monster.
A fucking monster. He's a fucking monster. He does not love, right? He does not love. He makes a point. I love the fact in this too. It's like he's drawn to Mina. Something's drawing him to her. Yeah, but it's not love.
She's a natural witch, you know, and I love the whole like Eldritch nods that there's a lot of Eldritch like vibes in the movie too, you know. She woke his ass up. He was fucking sleeping with some Eldritch god for like fucking 2 years. It took him 2 years to prepare for that shit. And I like the way that they kind of sewed that together with the realtor company and making him a disciple for Orlok, you know?
Yes. And, you know, when Nicholas Hoult gets there, first of all, the cast is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Lily Rose Depp is incredible. Nicholas Hoult, always solid.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And always gets fucked up, you know, like gets the shit into the stick on a lot of roles, you know.
But that's the thing. He's
good, but it's like he tries out for a lot of the big roles, and he always gets kind of the support, the shit into the stick, you know.
Yeah, he's Anchorman, right?
Yeah.
He's a very good anchor actor.
Exactly.
And, Bill Skarsgård, as far as I can tell, he's not in this movie.
No, not at all.
He disappears completely. One of the things I am looking forward to is when the Blu-ray comes out. I'm hoping that there'll be an edition that has special features, because one of the things I really would love to see was how they fucking made this monster. Because clearly it's a team, right? I mean, not just the makeup crew, the director, Bill Skarsgård, obviously, everybody just fucking collaborating to make this thing. Really, have I ever? Would I say scarier than the original Count Orlok? Yeah, I think I just might. He's a fucking corpse. He's a fucking corpse, but a corpse that could fucking rip your head off.
Yeah.
And you do see his dick in this. That should be mentioned too. And for a dead guy, he has a pretty nice sized cock.
Whoa.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, okay. You know, I would have thought maybe that would have dried up and shriveled up. But yeah, there's just like a gratuitous dick shot in this, which I thought was freaking funny.
Like, what the?
But it's just like, but that's the thing. This movie is really fucking kind of like dark and sexually twisted. And
do you have any like critiques for it? Like any things you would have changed if you could go in there and kind of fuck with his art, the directors?
No, I have to see it again. Because that's the thing is this movie just like rolled over me like a fucking steamroller.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Like afterwards, I was like, what the fuck was that?
Like for me, there's two things I would change, like straight up. You know, one, and it doesn't need any of these things. Like I say, it's a perfect gothic horror movie, like just right off the bat. But if I really wanted to get in there and nitpick shit, I would say that the ending needs a fight scene. I would have had Nicholas Hoult going toe to toe with Orlok, because he's a big fucking Orlok that doesn't, you know, like why make? I mean, he's a cool presence and all, but you got Nicholas Hoult, he's like 10 feet tall, and you got Orlok 20 feet tall, and then you got this cool Van Helsing that doesn't do shit at the end physically. So I would have had him personally. I would have had those two fight. Doesn't have to be a big fight, but Eggers is a big fan of Hammer, and a lot of those Hammer movies. You know, Cushing and Lee, they weren't afraid to have a little fisticuffs in some of the scenes.
Yeah, but
so I think that would have been pretty cool at the end of the movie. And I think maybe having Von Franz come in with the finishing blow would have been dope. 2, there ain't no fucking rat teeth. I wanted to see my fucking rat teeth. That's a really quick change. You could have put them fucking rat teeth in there. Didn't need it, but for me, it would have made it even better. Those are my 2 complaints. The rat teeth.
The rat seats?
Yeah, the teeth. The rat teeth.
The rat teeth. Oh, I thought you said the rat seats. Yeah. Yeah. No. For sure. The thing that because I remember I was watching it and I was remembering what you're saying. Like, oh, we should have been a fight. It would have been out of place in this if you put it there. Do you know what I'm saying? You maybe could have.
Nah, I don't agree with that. It needed it because the ending was the same as the original one. Like it needed something a little more epic. Again, you can't have that big fucking Orlok without something.
But it is more epic, right? What does fucking Max Schreck do? He turns to the sun and he vanishes, and there's like a puff of smoke. What happens to Orlok in this is epic.
Yeah,
it's the movie taking one last opportunity to grab you by the shoulders and just scream in your fucking face.
I've never seen that in a Dracula like that. You know what I mean? Where there's a big, decent fight. You know, and I think, and we've kind of seen it already with Nosferatu. This is exactly what happened at the end of the first movie. So I kind of wanted to see something different. Herzog did something a little different where they turned Harker. You know, and then obviously she's Mina. She saved the planet in this one. You know, with her sacrifice. I understand. Yeah. But it's like, nah, I want to see that fight, dog. I want to see that fight.
Yeah,
but it's a perfect movie. That's again my little nitpick.
That's the thing is, he's the guy that's left with a broken heart, right?
Yep.
The guy that's left with a broken heart.
They could have still done that. They still could have even had the movie and had the fight scene in there, or just kind of led on to that. I just think that it would have been really, really cool to see that. Even in Bram Stoker's, there's a little fight at the end. You know,
for sure.
They come up, they stab him, they cut his throat. He fucking bitch smacks. Figure out what's his name out of the way. Then she has to decap him. At least that one, there's a little kerfuffle. You know, I think this movie lacked that, and it would have been cool. And most people will not agree with me on that, and I'm aware of that. But That's just my opinion.
No, that's cool. But overall, like, how would you rank this?
Oh, it's a perfect movie. Like, there's nothing.
It's amazing.
You don't need to change anything about it. That's just like, again, like Dracula's my favorite IP. So like for me, if I'm gonna make Dracula, it's gonna be Dracula is Risen from the Grave. Or the first three lead movies. It's gonna be Bram Stoker's Dracula by Coppola. It's gonna be Dracula Untold. I know it's Cheeseball, and it's gonna be Nosferatu. All four of those things put together, and then I would have
How would you rank this amongst the three? The original, the Herzog, and this.
I would put this at number 2 after the original. I put Herzog 3.
That's kind of where I would put it, but once again, it's like I really got the feeling that this movie was such a sensory overload that that I was kind of it left me punch drunk. And
I wasn't punch drunk with Herzog's,
No, because it's so much more measured. It's a dirge, right? This one, it's like Herzog's is a funeral dirge. This is just fucking metal. This is just loud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then like the scene transitions just keeps twisting and turning you, and then when you go into like as soon as he steps into Orlok's woods, that's Orlok's realm, and he's in complete control of him at the whole time. Per Eggers, that's his realm. He's everywhere in that realm. I mean, he's everywhere in the movie too, but he's extremely like in that realm. Like he's got you like he's a being that carries a dimension around with him. He didn't even need to drive the fucking coach around, bro. He just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the other thing I noticed in this too. There are a couple of nods or what feel like elements from Cocteau, his version of Beauty and the Beast, La Belle et la Bête, right? There's some of that in this too. He'd do a great version of that.
Yeah, he would. He's doing Labyrinth next. I can't wait to see what he does with that.
With what?
Labyrinth.
That's right. And
with Jim Henson. He's working with Jim Henson's son. Yeah, man.
So, I mean, it's like, shit. If Del Toro's doing a Frankenstein, he's going to be doing a Frankenstein maybe. We'll see. Man,
he wants to do Frankenstein? Is that what he said?
Yeah. That, for sure. That I think that he originally wanted to do Frankenstein instead of Nosferatu, but he felt like maybe he wasn't ready to do Frankenstein, and he did this instead. I think.
I could see that.
He's been working on this too. But, like a lot of artists, you spend years working on certain things, and it could be years until like that last little puzzle piece falls into place. That's why it's always good to be working on multiple things. You don't want to wait around 10 years for that fucking last puzzle piece to fall into place. But yeah, would I say it's a must-see? Fuck yeah. Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the best movie of the year for sure. Without a doubt. I haven't seen Terrifier 3, but for me, it was the best horror movie of the year. I'm pretty sure it's better than Terrifier 3. Yeah, because to me, Terrifier isn't really scary. It's just like, ooh.
Yes. They're different, right? It scratches a different itch. But this is something that is, like art house level shit.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like they're... all the sets are put together like Legos, or not Legos, but they're just like hooked together where you can move walls and move things around. They pre-set up every shot with the camera. That way they can track where the camera's at. All the actors know exactly specifically where all the angles are going to be at all the time, to where they set up each shot.
Yes.
So they're basically dancing with the camera all the time.
Yes.
So, and he built like 4 city blocks, dude. Like it was a massive set.
Damn. Dude, like, are there any good making of videos? Because
there's thousands. I mean, there's not thousands, but there's just too many. I watched like maybe 10 before the movie came out on YouTube, and now there's just more. There's probably like 20 out there, bro.
Oh man, because and that's not a thing that normally happens to me. I was more into that sort of a thing when I was a kid, seeing how films are made. But this is one of those movies where like I gotta see how they fucking made this.
You gotta see the Foley one. That one's cool too. Yeah, and then they have one about the costumes. I haven't seen that one yet. But like I said, to me, he was one of the most. I would say with this one, and then leaves Count Dracula. I think, dude, he's basically Count Dracula in here. You know, like pretty.
That's what I'm
That's
saying. I was like,
it's not off from what I would put in a Dracula movie. You know, like he would get the sash and shit.
Oh my god, and that fucking voice. What?
Yeah, perfect, dude.
Fuck, he completely. It's just like why would you give Bill Skarsgård any praise for this? It's like he's not in it. He's not in it.
Yeah.
He just completely fucking disappears. It's insane. Yeah,
he's a real talent, man. He's a real talent, you know, and he's one of those rare gems. You know, he's like he's a new old man up there. You know, he's the guy you go to. You know.
Seriously, he's a absolutely fucking amazing performance by him in this.
He had a prolific year last year too. I mean, I didn't watch The Crow, but I heard Boy versus World. I heard that one was pretty good.
That's
and
right.
yeah, and this
is an abortion. He's just wasted in that. And the thing is,
perfectly casted too. It's almost worse.
What was that?
He's perfectly casted in the movie too. It's almost worse putting him in the movie because he's like at the top of the list. He looks like Hobart's Crow. He looks like Eric Draven, you know, and then they make him a SoundCloud
and everything, and then they fucking turn him into fucking Post Malone.
Yeah.
And mind you, there are also those are the things that suck least about that movie.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Oh, wow.
The lore in a really fucked up way.
And that director, man, he can shoot a fucking movie too. That guy's no chump, really. I mean, he hasn't done like a lot of movies, but he could film a fucking movie. I forgot his name. He did like the Snow White and the Huntsman, Rupert, some shit. Pretty sure it's the same guy.
Oh, is that the guy that did the Crow remake? No.
Yeah, from what I remember, if I'm not mistaken.
Because honestly, it feels like it was made by like a fucking 15-year-old. I'm not kidding. It felt like amateur hour.
So even if he was like, let's say if they changed his name, you know, what if his name was like Derek Raven, right? Would it still be a good Crow movie?
No.
So it's just dog shit in general.
It's dog shit. It's dog shit. It's like he only really becomes the Crow in like the last 15 minutes of the movie.
That's what I heard. Like he loses his powers and he comes back and
he keeps getting killed and coming and going into the underworld where he's talking to a character that, you know, would have been like the Skull Cowboy. But
yeah,
it's
that's
not
ass, bro.
Right. It's not the Skull Cowboy. It's the most boring, most generic fucking actor you've ever seen in a fucking movie.
I think I seen him in the trailer. I was like, what the fuck? Who's this bum?
Terrible. Yeah, there's nothing I could say that's good about this movie except for that fight in the opera house. Like,
yeah, I've seen that online and it looked pretty cool.
Watch that and you're good.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, when he's fucking being, you know, fucking shooting through his own body to like kill the fucking bad guys, that's pretty fucking badass.
Some Butch Cleaver shit, dude. I did that on my first issue. Except he used a Gatling gun. He shoved a Gatling gun through himself.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Damn, son. But yeah, that movie's fucking dog shit. But yeah, everybody go see the Robert Eggers Nosferatu. It is not dog shit. It is really fucking good. So for next week, I don't know. Let me figure something out.
We did Kung Fu Theater and got booted. Then we did Horror Movie Club. I said we did Kung Fu Theater. We got booted. We did a Horror Movie Club. It's spaghetti western time.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah! I'm down for some western, yo.
All right. Okay. I'll find something. That's the thing that's awesome also about Tubi. Fucking they're putting new shit up there.
Dude, all of them. Plex, Freebie. There's a few of them, man, and they got some really out there fucking old school western shit, dude. And I'm like, wow. I just keep finding the more Roku opened me up to all these free streaming services, and the more I look, the more I find, bro.
It's amazing. It's like the
I
best
even
time
found
ever.
a Butch and Terrence movie that ain't even a western. It's like they're busting smugglers.
Oh, that's cool.
In South
I heard they made like
America.
17 movies together.
Yeah. So I mean, like they did the Cat Stevens Hutch trilogy. That started with God Forgives I Don't, and then they did the 2 Trinity movies, and then they just started doing a lot of modern day.
Dude, they did one.
Fucking awesome.
I think they're busting smugglers in South America. This is what they're doing.
I think maybe it's the All the Way Boys. That one's actually
that one.
Where they're in a plane, flying free. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still, look, you got fucking Bud Spencer just fucking regulating on motherfuckers. You can't kind of go wrong with that.
I just love watching that shit, man. It cracks me up.
Yeah, they fucking rule. But before we peace out, Matt, you got to tell everybody. First of all, bro, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. Tell them
for sure
where they can find you and your shiznit.
Yeah, you guys could find me on like all socials at Batmerk. It's basically my name backwards. And then if you guys want to check out my YouTube channel, it's Metal Movies and Brewskis. I do reviews. I also comic book reviews. And then I do a live stream on Saturday night when I can at midnight Eastern time. And thanks, Brian. I appreciate you for having me on the show, man. It's nice seeing you, Pop.
Hey, it's good seeing you always, bro.
I appreciate you, my
even though we didn't actually see you, but it's good seeing you always.
Yeah. You're here in spirit, brother.
Right, it's my ghost. Ooh.
Everybody watching knows where they can find me, right here on the Madness doing the thing. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, you can find my funky ass on, well, I'm not hard to find. I've got an unusual name. You can find me at Brian Christgau on the Twatters. You can find me at Brian Christgau on the Facebooks, YouTube, and everything. Do a homie favor, smash that like button and hit the subscribe if it's not a bother, because the algorithm be fucking with us. But so Pops, you gonna take us out?
Yeah, I got this. I'm answering a question over on Pilled. Christy, I was gonna raid Burt Cocaine.
You're gonna what? You're gonna do cocaine?
See, you get to send raids, and people send you raids.
Yeah. That's a cool, right? Yeah.
So I was setting up a raid for Burt Cocaine, but she wanted me to send one to Java.
Okay. Whatever. It's all good.
Christy, I don't even. Who is Java? Go Java Live. I don't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay, Bert's fine too.
Figure that shit.
We're going to Burt Cocaine. He's a funny. Look, if you're watching on Pill, Bert's hilarious. He was on 3 Beer Men last week. Funny shit. Good dude.
Yeah. I gotta check more. I gotta check Cold Out more. I've just been, busy with other shit, but I do intend to explore that site a little bit more, and also just we can get away with more shit over there, so we could maybe.
It's so much the chats. It's more interactive when you can drop them little picture gifs.
Yeah.
And stuff in the chat with your comment, right? You can say something, and dude, it's so much fun, man. I really like the people there. I really like broadcasting there. Probably going to end up being my main platform up until Roku.
It just, Space Marine 2 has been eating up like a lot of my free time.
and I didn't realize the kind of traction we were getting on Rumble until Levi pointed it out to me that some of the draw streams are getting close to 100 views over there. And then I started looking, and I'm like, oh, the Horror Movie Club gets almost 100 views over there every week too. See what I'm saying? So we love you guys no matter where we're watching. Keep watching. We'll keep providing some decent shows for you to watch. That's what we do.
All right. Pop's going to take us out. Yeah. Everybody, until we see you next week, peace, love, and metal. Oh, metal up your ass. Metal up
It's Flip City Magazine, The Parodies, Special Edition, with savage send-ups of The Walking Dead, Star Trek Picard, Stranger Things, The Mandalorian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and more from the first 4 years of Flip City. Get Flip City The Parodies free when you subscribe in print at flipcitymag.com. The world's best satire magazine, and never, ever woke.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes Superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
On the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From caves to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens day.